everyone. How are you doing? Welcome back. Yesterday we talked about reflections, and I stated that this was going to probably be different parts. Yesterday was part one, and that was basically me breaking ground, just none the least to say what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of days because this is what I call my special week. So, um, First and foremost, thanks for joining me back. Also, remember to hit the subscribe button and the little bell button as well. Like, comment. I'm anxious to see what you guys have to say and to see how you're doing. Excuse me. And see how you're doing. Um, Reflections and like I said, the month of March. March, as I stated, is a very uh, cool month for me, I believe, because you can have all types of weather in March. Um, and uh, Not just because it's my birth month, but it's just, I don't know, it's just something about that this particular month where you it's you're in transition for a lot of things. You're doing a lot of transitional things for not just weather wise, but some of you are looking to say, okay, I put that resolution in. Let me see how I'm doing. I'm 2 months in, going into the third month to see how I'm doing, and those types of things. Um, but today, yesterday I started out talking about moms, and I think I'm just going to stay there for just a second because many of us that are mothers, we are constantly moving. We are constantly burning the candle at both ends, the middle, and anywhere else that we can find to burn that candle. And what I'm seeing and finding is that a lot of us are getting burned out. We don't sometimes have a network or a support system that we can utilize, especially some of our single moms. And I can say that because I was once a single mother. Um, and to be honest with you, that was during a season in my life where me and my husband, we were not together. We were not married or anything like that. We pretty much had gone our separate ways, and that left me with the assignments, as I say, and the privilege, I would say privilege, to be the one to take care of our son. Um, and so, single moms, I get it. I know what you're going through. I can speak as one time being a single mom for many, many years. And of course, I didn't come from a background. I had both of my parents, and they always want to say the stereotype. If your mom was a single mom, then you're gonna be. No, that's not how it happened. Not at all. I had both of my parents. Uh, Unfortunately, when my son came along, my father had already been deceased. Um, but it was a very trying time in my life, and what I can say to single moms now, um, if you need help, say you need help. Nothing wrong with it. I got to be mom and dad. Oh no, you don't. No, you do not. You got to be mom. You have to be mom. That's what you know. That's who you are as a female, is a mother. You cannot be mother and father. It, you know, there's certain things that um, men, I mean a man, a good man can teach our children that we can't do. Plain and simple. You know, um, okay, so you cannot be both. We are wired to do certain things, and those certain things, that's what we do. Now, if there's not a trusted male that you can utilize to help your child, um, and I'm not going to say to fill that void or to fill that gap, but to give them that male perspective as in growing up, then do so. If you have that person in your life, that's fine and great. But what we have to get away from is using that term, I got to be mom and dad. No, you don't. Last check for some females, unless you're carrying that organ, there is no way that you can think like a man. You can't do it. So you do what you do best, and that's being a female who gave birth to that child, who can stand flat footed and be a mother. That's who you are. That's who you were called to do, and to nurture that child. And it's not easy work. Children do not come with a manual. You know, they're up, they're sick, they're this, they're that, they have moods, just like we have moods. So we have to get to a point where we have to understand what our role is as a mom. Um, and I remember it was rough. I'm not going to sit here and say everything was no, because during that time, I, I I didn't even have a degree at the time. You know, I had all the classes, but I was short one. Yeah, I left college. I was short one class, um, and did not go back to get it until almost 10 years, almost 10 years later to the day when I left. And I had to make a decision, and I had a wonderful mentor at the time who literally told me I was stupid. Yeah, she did. She said, "You stupid. You got one class. You stupid." Now, if you understand what the word stupid means, that means you don't have the capacity to learn anything. So, and I said, you know what? I'm not stupid. You know, so it wasn't I could show you, but I could tell you sort of situation. I could have been ignorant, you know, meaning there was a little hope, but I won't stupid. But she told me flat out, straight, and within, I would say, a few months, I was enrolling back to go back to school to finish up my degree, and I was able to take my son with me to sit in their classroom with me. Um, and then that's when I found out that my son uh, he had a gift. Now you're sitting in a classroom with your mother. This is a college class, and he is, you know, like a deer in headlights, watching what's being put on the board, watching and listening to the lecturer and all these things. And it happened to be a statistics class. And I will never forget, he raised his hand and he told the instructor that he was wrong. I'm like, oh my God, oh God. And I'm like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. And he was like, no, mommy, his calculations are wrong. And I'm like, oh God, please let the teacher be wrong in this point, because he just disrupted the whole class. And I come to find out he was wrong. The instructor's calculations were incorrect. And from that day forward, I realized, and my instructor pulled me to the side and said, "You gotta, he's a special one. You gotta feed that brain. That he's got a special brain." And come to find out, my son loves math. I mean, he he loves math the way some of us love sports. You know, he's analytical. He's logistical. He will break it all down for you, and it's just amazing to see. And from that day forward, I continued to feed his mind with math, and he was looking at all types of my college books that dealt with math. But that's just one of the things that I'm saying, that when you find out that there's a gift that your child has, feed him or her, whatever that gift may be, nourish it, so that he can figure out, or she can figure out, what they need to do with it. Um, but like I said, being a mom is rewarding. It's not for everyone. Um, but if you're in the situation where that's where you are right now, and you have to take the time, you know, to nurture yourself as well, because day in, day out, running here, running there, doing this, doing that, it will tire you out, and it will cause you to collapse sometimes, you know, mentally, physically, whatever the case may be. um, and you have to be able to conversate and to communicate with your children to let them know, mommy needs a timeout, you know, mom's tired, you know, and that way they're able to see what it looks like to say, I need to rest, I need to pump my brakes for a minute. So they will know that it's okay for them to do it as well. Remember, we are examples. They will imitate what we do. And trust me when I tell you, don't think children don't see what you do. They see everything that you do. Even those things that you try to hide, they see them. If you're sneaking somebody in your house late in the evening, they will see, they will hear. Do not underestimate the power of a child. Please don't get that twisted. You know, and I understand, you get to a point where you need to be able to have a conversation, above that of an infant or a toddler or a teenager or things of that nature. I get that. But like I said, you have to take that time and just look at yourself. Am I doing the best that I can be? Because eventually I'm going to set loose this person into the world. Now, what am I going to set them into this world with? Are they going to be capable or have the capacity to function in the world? Are they going to be respectful? Are they going to know how to take care of themselves? Are they going to know how to make up their beds and clean up behind themselves and not talk back? Or you might think it's cute when they're little, but guess what? When they get older and them hormones kick in and they're teenagers, and that same little cuteness that they were doing, it's not going to be cute anymore. You nip that in the bud when they're young, and you let them know that's not appropriate. That's not cute. you know, and you give them those tools so they'll be able to survive. You teach them how to share. You teach them how to be compassionate. You teach them how not to be selfish. You sit them down and let them know these are the words that you should not be saying out of your mouth. I did something that was totally, you can say, unethical, or some people like, oh my God. I took a list of all the words and phrases that I could possibly think of, wrote them down, showed every last one of them to my child, and said, don't let me ever hear you say any of them. And said each one, spelled them out all the way down. Yes, I did. Because I wanted him to make sure it's not appropriate. Gave him the meaning, because you have to understand the type of child I was dealing with. You had to give him a meaning. What does that mean? What does that mean? And I left the door open for him to ask questions. I'd rather for him to get the answers from me than out in the street, where who knows how it's going to come to him. And I even gave him some of the streetwise terms. So he would be like, oh, okay, I recognize that. Mom said it was going to be that. Okay, great. But you have to be able to put your children in a place where you don't set them up for failure. And if you don't know, then you research and find out so you can get into the know. It was, like I said, it was rough. I remember I did not have a vehicle. I did not have, where I lived, I did not even have a bus route. So I had to literally walk to work. And it took me an hour to walk to work. And I tell you this story because I was determined, one, not to have to go all the way back home to Philly with baby in tow. I said, I got to be able to prove not only to myself that I can do this, but I got to push forward. And I used that mindset that my mom used to tell me, if I put you out there in the wilderness, you should be able to survive by what I gave you. Okay? And also remembering what my father said about them 4 quarters. At that point in time, I had nothing in my hand other than, the strength to take this hand, put it down on the stroller, and push. So that's what I had in my hand. So I had to make it work. And I will remember seeing people drive by me in the morning, blow their horn, and they will keep on going. Okay, no problem. So my commute in the morning, I had to be to work at 7 o'clock. Y'all do the math. It takes me an hour to walk. So that's 6 in the morning I have to leave. So I have a child, small baby. That means I got to get up at least, 4:30, 5 o'clock to get myself ready and the baby ready so we can leave out to head out. Now this is rain, snow, sleet, hail, whatever the weather is, I was out there. And to walk all seasons, didn't matter what the season was, and to walk with this child early in the morning and it's dark. Um, and I'm praying the whole way. I am trying to be upbeat. And this is when he was probably around a year or so, toddler age or whatever, during this time. But we won't even talk about when he was an infant. And I'm living in another neighborhood and it was just as bad. And I said, okay. And I walked and I remember one morning very clearly where it was raining. And it was a rough morning to start off. And anyway, and I'm getting ready to head out and it's pouring. So I got, my child covered. I got an umbrella big enough to cover both me, him, and the stroller so he doesn't get wet. I get halfway to where I needed to go, and one of the wheels on the stroller fell completely off. I'm like, okay. So now I got to carry him the rest of the way. I pick him up. I literally put the stroller in the next dumpster that I see, and by this time I'm crying because I'm done. I'm done. I'm so done. And he looks me in my face and he wipes my face. He says, and I used to always tell him this. He said, "Mommy, we just paying our dues. We just paying our dues." And I used to teach him saying that same phrase along with teaching him how to sing "This Little Light of Mine." And then he starts singing "This Little Light of Mine. I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." And I'm like, he gave it back to be in a place and time where I needed it. And I got him to the daycare, turned back around, got to work. And I was just exhausted. Just exhausted. And but that was just one particular morning, and that was just he was showing me that it's gonna be, Mommy, it's gonna we are paying, we paying our dues. We got to do this to get to where we need to get to. And he was just a young, just been able to form his words, but he was able to get that out, and it's touched and spoke to my heart, where I was able to get that little extra push. And you have to understand that I wasn't just working one job. I was working two. And I would leave there, go there, and then when I got off there, I would pick him up from daycare, come right back the same way that I left, came home, changed clothes, and went to the second job, which was a blessing because I was able to take him with me because it was a daycare that I was doing in the evening. So I didn't have to worry about him being anywhere, but so I took him with me. And that went on for a very long time. Very, very long time. Till he was at least in, oh my goodness. Whew. He had to be about maybe 11 years old. So I did that for a very long time. And but by that time, I had gotten my degree. Oops. I had gotten my degree, and things were looking great. Things were looking great. But I say this to say that moms, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. You can get it done. Pace yourself. Even if, dad is not in the picture, do your best to get rid of that bitterness that you're harboring, that unforgiveness that you're harboring, because that's going to hold you back. That's going to make you stagnant. That's going to make you complacent. And you're not going to be able to move like you want to move. And your children are going to see that. And if at all possible, try. Matter of fact, don't speak ill of the other parent in earshot, eyesight, whatever, in the vicinity of your children. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care how mad you get with them. Don't do it. Wait until they are far away where they can't even hear it. Where if you got the sound off, then go ahead and sound. But don't do it around your children. What I would suggest is that allow your children to form their own relationship, their own interpretation of that parent, and leave it there. And leave it there, because if you don't, you're going to be in a place where you're not going to move any further than where you are right now. I say that wholeheartedly. um, and just understand that their issue is their issue, whatever the case may be. Um, but what's most important right now is for you to build yourself up. It's for you to do what you need to do. If you want to go back to school, do so. There are many resources out there in your area that you can go back to school if you choose to, start your own business if you choose to. Whatever it is that you want to do to make yourself and the life better for your children, it's out there. Don't make an excuse for, oh, I'm going to wait until the child gets. No, start it now. Start it now, and then put things in place. You know, don't look for somebody to take care of you. This is called being independent. Fall down on your knees, ask God to give you the strength that you need to do so, to provide you with the resources. And trust me when I tell you, people are going to start to offer to help you that weren't there for you before. So do what you have to do in order to build yourself up. This could be a blessing in disguise that you don't even understand the magnitude of. Um, and just take that time. You know, before long, children don't stay, babies long. They grow very fast. And when you'll look up and guess what? That child will be in their 20s, like I have now. I'm trying to figure out when all this changed, how did this happen so fast? Um, but that young man of mine, that I've seen grow, and you guys heard me speak of him, and one of these times maybe we'll do something together on the channel. But like I said, I like to keep their lives separate and private unless I have permission from them, to do so. And that's because for both of us, sometimes social media is not kind, and we're not looking for people to always pat us on the back. But sometimes you have what they call the trollers, the haters, whatever the case may be, those broken people that because they're broken, misery loves company. They want to just bring you into their arena of such. But for me, I just like to let him know, because he keeps up with his mom, that I'm proud of you. I love you. You're the beat of my heart. You're the oxygen in my lungs. Um, you give me the push that I need to keep me going. And I do all that I'm doing for you and yours to build a legacy. Generational wealth is what I do. Is what I'm seeking to do. Um, and when I say generational wealth, not just monetary. We're talking academically, socially, community. All those things encompasses that, where we just can reach out and touch others and share what we know with others. Reaching back, pulling back, not just one, pulling a couple of people, you know, with us. And for that one day when he was in that classroom with me, it showed me who this little this little person is, and what he's become. It's truly a blessing for me. And I'm not saying we had it easy, because we did not. Because when you're a single mom, the stereotype, um, is one thing, but when you are a woman of color with a child, the treatment that you get is just unimaginable. And sometimes it comes from the people that look just like me, and I don't understand that. I remember, going for assistance, and yes, I was on assistance for a minute, but I was like, I had worked. So I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be here for me when I need it, and therefore I'm going to use it. And the woman, before she looked at anything, she just automatically assumed that, I was this, you know, um, woman, at the time, young woman that, didn't know any better, had a bunch of kids and this, that. And I'm looking at her like, offering her something that she wasn't offering me, which was some grace, because Danita got a mouth, and I can come out with some stuff that I don't need a switchblade to use. I can cut you with my tongue. And that was one time I held my tongue and I let my credentials speak for themselves at the time. And because they asked for a bunch of paper, and I gave her the paper, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? Now that you see that, I have this, that, now, why are you sorry?" Don't naturally assume, because of who you see before you, they don't understand, they don't know anything, they're ignorant, they're stupid, whatever the case may be. Don't assume that. Because just because you sit on across that desk, that doesn't mean that the person that you talk to across from you is any better or any less than you. And I ended up having the opportunity later on to be that woman on the other side of the desk in the office, talking to mothers and letting them know, I understand. I understand. And here is a list of services that can help you. Let them know, you know, who's sending you to them. And just to give some people some compassion. We have enough at the end of the day dealing with our children, raising our children, taking care of our kids, and we don't need anybody else to point or look down to us like we're nobody because, the Father isn't with us. Okay, for whatever the case may be, okay, he may not be there. Okay, well. Or, don't get it twisted, or the moms are there. Because there is a group of fathers out there who are raising their children by themselves. I've known several, even when I was in it, that were doing it. And they were doing one wonderful job doing it. I've had the opportunity to testify in court for some of these dads, you know, and it was it was different, yes, because that's not the norm. You don't see that. But trust me when I tell you, they are out there and they need help just like the moms do. So dads, if you're watching this, hats off to you. Hats off to you for stepping up, not leaving, and being there. So if no one has told you, I salute you. I thank you for stepping up. And we have to be able to recognize that we can't just sit back and assume that folks are doing this, that you don't know anyone's backstory until they tell you their story. So as I approach the birthday of my son, and to tell him, I say thank you. I say have a wonderful day on purpose. I say that I'm proud of you. I say that because of you, I am a mother. Because of you, I can stand firm and say that prayer works, um, love works, pressing our way through works, and paying our dues definitely worked. Because, you know, he went on and he received his degree, and I hope I get this right, in applied theoretical mathematics. That's a lot to say. So, and it's hard work to do. He went in, he didn't waste any time. He went to school. Within 4 years, he received his BS degree. He's doing what he got to do. Mommy proud. Mommy is very proud. And I could not have done it but for the grace of God to help me through it. And, just being there in those early years to be able to withstand what we had to go through. And, I know, some folks would look at it, oh, his dad, his dad had his own dealings that he had to deal with. And, you know, it was rough on him. You know, whatever men go through in that process of trying to get themselves to, that's what they go through. I had to step back. I had to leave that alone because it wasn't for me to figure that out. And we cannot make them be there if they don't want to be there. If they don't want to be there, don't force it. Let them go and let God do whatever he has to do with them to bring them to a point where he has to answer for it. And that's what I did. I was gone for a long time. We talk about over a decade. I was bye-bye. You know, and I couldn't concentrate on the what if and whys. I had a child to raise, and I had to move forward. And that's what I did. And now we're able to sit back and talk about it. And we're able to talk about it honestly and with transparency about it. When we talk to couples and we talk to other moms and dads that may be going through what we went through, and we can open up. We're very raw about it. We're very real about it. But what I would say to my moms, my sister moms that are pressing their way and doing what they got to do, hold on, Press your way. Do you. Okay? You can't make anybody pay attention. The only person that you're responsible for at this point in time is yourself and those little ones that you have been blessed with to take care of. My brothers, my dads, if it's just you doing what you got to do to raise these children, then do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Trust yourself and understand that you are not by yourself. You are to be commended that you did not run, that you stepped up, and we appreciate you. So with that being said, on what I would call my Mother's Day in March, and any other person that's celebrating March reflections or, as I say, Mother's Day in March for giving birth, may God bless you. May you continue to stand firm and to know that you're not alone in this process, that you will continue to reap the benefits of what you're doing. And it's okay not to be okay in the process as long as you are able to reach out and get yourself the help that you need. So on that note, my hijo, I love you. Te quiero mucho. And we will see you back here. And we're going to be talking next about, we don't know. Like I said, this week is filled with, birthdays, anniversaries, and what I call my particular day. And that is my Aston Martin right now. You probably won't be able to hear me at this point because now he's following whoever it is outside. So on that note, before he gets really irate, I will talk to you guys soon. Stay focused. Stay on point. I love you. God loves you. And we will talk again.